Young and the Restless spoilers next week, November 4th to 8th. Victor Newman has planned a grand surprise for Nikki, which he is sure will leave her in awe. When he removes Nikki's blindfold, he reveals that the farmhouse has been restored and rebuilt exactly as it was in the beginning. The house holds many sweet memories of the two, and Victor has recreated every detail perfectly, leaving Nikki deeply moved and speechless with happiness. In the midst of this meaningful moment, Nikki feels as if all of Victor's love and efforts for her are still intact. But at the same time, a feeling of insecurity rises in her heart, because she knows that besides his love for her, Victor is secretly planning to take revenge on Jack Abbott. Jack, Nikki's ex-lover, is one of Victor's biggest rivals in the business world, and Victor has never given up on his intention to take him down. The war between Victor and Jack, especially the goal of destroying Jabot, Jack's company, has always been a deep obsession for Victor. Not only stopping at business conspiracy, Victor also decided to directly attack Nikki's weak point, her troubled relationship and feelings for Jack. Although Nikki and Jack are just distant memories, Victor knows that she always has a special concern for her ex-lover. Through the updates on his plan, Victor intentionally revealed a few details about his preparations for a major action aimed at Jack. He wanted to make Nikki confused and worried, even somewhat tormented and guilty for letting Jack fall into this dangerous spiral. Victor understood Nikki deeply enough to know that she was a person with a soft heart and vulnerable to those she once loved. Rebuilding the farmhouse was not just a simple gift but also a way to strengthen their relationship at this time. However, Victor's revenge plots make Nikki wonder and somewhat suspicious about his true motives. Is this part of his plan to distract her from the upcoming brutal actions? In addition, Victor is secretly planning to kidnap Jack, creating a dead-end situation for him. Victor believes that this will strike a chord with Nikki, causing her to fall into a dilemma between loyalty to her husband and compassion for her ex-lover. Victor wants to see if Nikki has enough feelings to save Jack, but at the same time he wants to push her into a choice, forcing her to face her inner conflict between her current husband and a part of her old memories with Jack. Nikki knows that if Jack is really in danger, it will be difficult for her to ignore it. But this also makes her feel tense and confused, because if she intervenes, she will confront Victor and risk causing their relationship to crack again. On the other hand, if she does not act, Nikki knows that Jack will suffer serious consequences, and her silence may become a psychological burden that she cannot erase. Even Victor cannot predict how Nikki will react to this situation, and he seems to be eagerly waiting to see what decision she will make. Meanwhile, Victor's plan to kidnap Jack is further completed, and Nikki must make a decision very quickly. She must choose between supporting Victor and eliminating his rival or standing up to him to rescue Jack. What will Nikki do when she knows that both Victor and Jack are betting heavily on her decision? Will her current love for Victor keep her silent in the face of his cruel plans, or will her compassion for her ex-lover motivate her to act in the opposite way? The story revolves around love, loyalty, and the difficult choices between protecting her family and compassion for her ex. All of which will put Nikki in a tense and hopeless situation, where just one wrong decision can push everyone down a path of no return. Next, Phyllis walked into the Crimson Lights Cafe, her steely gaze fixed on Sharon Newman. The atmosphere in the cafe, which had been quiet, suddenly became tense. Sharon, who was busy serving customers, was startled when she saw Phyllis with a determined and cold expression. Phyllis had reason to believe that Sharon was involved in the death of Daniel's lover, and today, she would not miss the opportunity to confront her directly. Without hesitation, Phyllis walked straight to Sharon and began the confrontation. "I know what you did, Sharon," Phyllis said, her tone firm. Sharon tried to stay calm, but could not hide the panic that flashed in her eyes. "What the hell are you talking about?" Sharon shouted, her tone trying to be strong but failing to hide her anxiety. The people in the cafe began to pay attention to the tense conversation between the two women, making the atmosphere even more stifling. Outside the cafe, Chance, a seasoned detective, happened to witness part of the conversation and couldn't help but notice the tension that was showing through Sharon's every word. The strange expressions that Chance noticed from Sharon were increasingly similar to the behavior of a murderer trying to hide his guilt. Chance's eyes began to become alert. He realized that he needed to examine Sharon carefully. At this point, Phyllis continued to emphasize what she knew, causing Sharon to panic even more. "Don't think I don't know your secret, Sharon," Phyllis said. Sharon looked at Phyllis with helpless eyes, but couldn't hide her unease. Phyllis declared that she had evidence that could prove Daniel's innocence. Sharon's eyes widened, her face blank. She knew that if Phyllis really had evidence, everything she had worked so hard to arrange would be ruined. Just then, Daniel walked in and overheard the heated argument. He couldn't help but notice Sharon's panic, and his suspicions were growing. Previously, Daniel had thought that his mother's words were just emotional speculation. But now, seeing Sharon's strange attitude, he began to see that Phyllis's theory might be correct. Daniel continued to secretly observe Sharon, her every action further cementing his suspicions. Sharon's unusual behavior, her uncontrolled speech, and her tense demeanor could not possibly be the expression of an innocent person. Daniel recalled many details from the past, the times Sharon tried to avoid or interrupt when someone mentioned his lover's death. These seemingly trivial details now connected together into a suspicious chain of events. Phyllis continued to push Sharon into a corner, presenting the evidence she had collected. In a fierce tone, Phyllis affirmed that she would do everything to bring Sharon to light and protect Daniel. Sharon knows she is cornered, and if she doesn't find a way out of this situation quickly, she could lose everything. The truth is slowly revealed, and Sharon knows she doesn't have much time left. How will she react to protect her secret? And can Daniel stand by his mother to discover the whole truth behind his lover's death, or will he be caught up in an even more complicated conspiracy? The story becomes more intense as everyone suspects each other, and the line between truth and lies becomes increasingly fragile. Subscribe to our channel to update the latest news.